She knew exactly what she wanted, and she came, racked up her dollars, and dipped from the scene. No one expected what career path she chose next. This is the unexpected story of Trish Goff.
I grew up in a small town in northern Florida and called Ocala. It's very small. I think I'm pretty quiet. I'm pretty mellow. I have one close person to me.
Born in 1976, Trish grew up in northern Florida. She was discovered at only 15 years old. Trish Goff knew exactly what she wanted from a very early age, and so she pretty much dropped out of school. She decided to move from Florida to New York, and that's where a modeling scout spotted her. Goff was from a modest background, a far cry from the glamour of the modeling industry. She was consumed by a desire for a better life, and she went on and got it. In one of her earlier interviews, she said she had never been on a plane before. She loved it in New York and wanted to live there. Curious, what were you doing when you were 15? Trish Goff was a supermodel in the mid-1990s and remained all the way through the early 2000s. She was signed by the IMG agency. She had a look that set her apart, a look that was almost ahead of its time. You remember Cindy Crawford and Claudia Schiffer? Well, think of the complete opposite. She had this boyish yet intensely feminine energy. Her short, dark, choppy hair was her signature look. She had this cool, rebellious attitude. Her sharp cheekbones and piercing green eyes made her a favorite among all top fashion houses. She was perfect for minimalistic campaigns, but she also killed it on the runway. In the mid-90s, the world was going for more diverse and unconventional-looking models, the ones that were stunning but challenged the stereotype of what a model should look like.
I remember like my first season here, I wasn't doing any top shows. I was doing like the smallest shows. I must have done like 6 shows the whole week. But he booked me for Chloe, Lagerfeld, Chanel. I mean, she's like really believed in me like the whole way.
Her peak modeling career was roughly from 1994 to 2001. Although she had to do some small gigs before hitting it big, her scouting sped up things. In 1994, she made her first big appearance in Vogue Paris. This was a major accomplishment, seeing how young she was. In 1995, she became a runway regular. She was walking for designers like Chanel, Versace, Prada, Dior, Calvin Klein, and Gucci. She continued gracing Vogue's covers. We are talking about Vogue US, Vogue Italia, and Vogue UK. Photographers like Stephen Meisel could not get enough of her. Her eyes conveyed a story and persona. She brought rawness and emotion. She could look cool and detached in one shot, then sensual and soulful in the next. And that's why Vogue loved her on their covers. She also worked with Mario Testino and Inez and Vinude, designers who were obsessed with fashion imagery in the 90s. Goff appeared in Victoria's Secret catalogs and runway shows in the late 90s and early 2000s. This was during the brand's golden era. Her work with Victoria's Secret shows that she's a very diverse model, able to switch from minimalistic high fashion to sultry, sensual lingerie modeling.
It's something creative, it's very fast-paced, it's, flying to Paris all the time, London, New York, going to fly to LA, to Mexico and the Caribbean. It's exciting.
Goff also fronted major campaigns, the likes of Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, Ann Taylor, Chloe, and Louis Vuitton. One memorable campaign is her work with Gucci under Tom Ford. He wanted models who radiated confidence, edge, and allure. And Goff was the very embodiment of this. In 2000 and 2001, Goff got married and had a child. By 2001, she was largely out of the public eye, choosing a more private life. However, in 2009, Goff made a surprise comeback walking for Alexander Wang's fall-winter collection. She wore a sharp black suit with a plunging neckline and a low-slung belt. Goff didn't make any more appearances in modeling. She wanted to be in real estate. Later, she would open up about the struggles she faced in the industry and what drove her decision to retire. Goff was married to Angus Munro, a casting director. They moved to Portugal but later divorced. They did not have any children. But Goff has one child, model Nima Ward, her son with Aaron Ward. He was born on the 2nd of January, 1997. But sadly, he died in May 2024. The cause of death was not revealed. Trish Goff had introduced her son into the modeling industry, and he was actively modeling till his untimely passing at 27. He would accompany her to events and photo shoots, and even had a Vogue photo shoot with her. Naima was signed at 18 by David Bonouvrier from DNA Models. In her interviews after 2017, Goff spoke about her role as a mother and how her son was a driving force in her decision to leave fashion, reinvent herself, and build a more grounded life. She said that she relocated to a quiet, rural environment to separate him from the chaos of that world. Now, after she retired from modeling, Goff got into high-end real estate. In an interview, she said she knew what it was like to be represented by someone and therefore believed she knew what her clients needed. It's about honesty, about responding and being available, and also about dealing with people's emotions. A home is an emotional thing, she added. She took this career path after her divorce and returned to the United States from Portugal. She was serious about starting over after the divorce. She got her license from New York University. Currently at age 49, Goff is still a real estate agent working in Manhattan. In an unfortunate turn of events, Goff was one of the women who had accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment. She said that in 2003, she had a lunch meeting with Weinstein, who then began inappropriately touching her, to which she asked him to stop. "I kept saying, 'Please stop, please stop.' But he didn't until I managed to get back into the public space," she said. Now it is important to know that this was a very high-profile case, where this man was accused of sexually harassing and abusing over 30 women. They were mostly women in the film industry. This case blew up in 2017 and sparked the global Me Too movement. Weinstein was a Hollywood producer. Goff had met Weinstein when she was trying to transition from modeling to acting. In 2005, Goff was in the thriller movie Noise. After that, she was no longer interested in the film industry. At the time, Weinstein was taking advantage of women trying to make it in the film industry. And so, naturally, Goff did not report this incident. She revealed it much later. The power dynamics at play made her feel intimidated. She also exposed that she had gone through similar struggles in her time as a young model.
I read a lot, and I'm really a quiet person. I mean, when I'm not working, it's like I don't think anyone here knows any idea what I do.
Goff was not known for a loud persona or controversial drama. She was considered introspective and even intellectual. She often strutted the runway alongside Stella Tennant, Kristen McMenemy, and Amber Valletta, models who fit the same unconventional beauty aesthetics. She would not be heavily photographed at fashion parties or celebrity events. She once said that she preferred a more private and quiet space and has a strong desire to protect her emotional well-being. In short, she was connected but not consumed by the industry. She would later introduce her son to the industry through the respectable connections she had made in the industry. Goff's modeling career was impactful, but perhaps where she made the most impact was when she came out as a truth teller and survivor. She candidly spoke about the struggles that models were struggling with, especially in an industry that loves them young. There were many reports of 90s models struggling with addiction and depression beneath their flashy appearances. Such discussions highlighted the need for models to be protected, both psychologically and physically. Beyond being exposed to sexual abuse and harassment, these models were often overworked. Not that the money was little, but there was a need for better balance. Models like Trish Goff walked so that models of today can run. Now, models are empowered to speak out against harassment or abuse. They ask for breaks when they are burnt out. And most of all, they have more control over their careers. Trish Goff is a legend, and she deserves her flowers.